The only way we can officially move into 2021 is by going ahead and talking about December of 2020. So let's go ahead and wrap that month up now. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike coming back at you with another monthly wrap-up. This time we're going to be closing down 2020 sort of with December. We're going to talk about everything that happened in December, some of the, what I read, some of the channel growth, some of the best things I read, some of my biggest videos, that kind of stuff, and then talk about maybe a little bit of goals going forward. But as we always do with a monthly wrap-up, let's start with what I read. I read 4-ish books. I say ish because the first one is I finished Rhythm of War. I think I finished it on like December the 2nd, so I don't really count it there. But, why not? Then Kings of the Wild, The Martian by Andy Weir, The Talisman by Stephen King and Peter Straub, and Kings of Paradise by Richard Nell. Lots of very interesting things to say. I think I've reviewed every single one of those except for Kings of Paradise, which will be happening sometime in January. But if you watched my top 10 books of the year, I did kind of give a little brief, I guess you'd say, quick little non-spoiler thoughts about Kings of Paradise. So lots of things to talk about there going forward. But of these books that I read, I gotta say, if I have to pick one for the month, and this was hard because I really, really liked The Martian a lot, but I gotta go with Kings of the Wild just because I thought it was not going to be as good as it was. It was one of those things where I thought, you're talking about all these classic rock things in a fantasy novel. That sounds really like Monty Python. It could be really funny to watch on TV, but to read it might be a little silly. And it surprised me about the heart and the depth that book had. And really, more than once, found a way to kind of punch you in the feels. And it's a really, really great read if you're one of those people who's starting to feel a little bit of fantasy burnout, but you're not ready to switch up genres. It's a real good palate cleanser because even though it is part of a trilogy, it is very much a standalone book that kind of is in that same contained world. I haven't picked up book 2 yet, but it's just one of those things where it is some of the coolest group of characters that you would just have been in any fantasy novel that I've read. These 5 main guys in this band are just so much fun, and you give a shit about what happens to them. And that seems like something that seems like so many fantasy authors now have kind of moved into making sure that their world and their magic system is so great that the characters are kind of hit and miss. Eames made sure that he focused on those characters, and it really shines through. So that's why it would be my book of the month. Even though I really did like The Talisman. I liked Kings of Paradise. I liked all these books except Talisman, but that's a different story. Let's go ahead and talk about some channel growth for the month. I did set an optimistic goal. The November wrap-up, I said, you guys tell me I'm always very pessimistic about these things. So I set an optimistic goal of 35,000 subs by New Year. Well, we beat that by a few days. So we made that. I'm already at 36 now in January. It just keeps growing. And that's awesome. That's awesome. Some of the new things, November was kind of a benchmark month because it was so many new visitors. That top 10 horror novels video I did really brought in a ton of subscriptions and new viewers on the channel. So I was like, I don't expect to hit those same numbers again. It was close. It was close. We had 4,027 new subs this month. That's down about 1,190 from November. But again, like I said, that was a record for me. I'd never crossed 5,000 in 1 month before. So that was very cool to see. 355,000 total views, up 53,000 from November. So the fact that we got less subscribers, but more views, that's always something I'm in support of. With me, it's like, yeah, subscribers are great, but if they're not watching your videos, it's actually kind of harmful to the algorithm of YouTube. But guys don't want to hear about that. I know you don't want to hear about that. 55,000 hours of watch time, up 15,000 from November. So both watch time and total views both went up in December over what was a record month in November. So that's trending in the right direction as a content creator. That's something you want to see. You want to see your visits to your channel, your views, and obviously how long people are watching your video. Because you can have a nice 20-minute videos like I do, and people watch it for 4 minutes. It's kind of a knock against you. So engagement and keeping the viewer locked in is obviously something you want to aim for. But look, I can't complain about the channel growth at all, like at all. Never expected to be here. When I do my video, I'm going to do one after this, probably next week, because I don't want to put them so close together, where I kind of actually wrap up like this, the whole year of 2020, talk about some of my biggest videos and stuff and growth. I beat my goals internally by ridiculous, like 600% or something. It's insane. So I can't complain about the channel growth at all. And I just want to thank you guys for helping me reach that 35,000 number. That's amazing. I don't really have anything going forward, but we'll talk about that when we get to December. Let's talk about some of the most popular content of December. I get my months mixed up here because we're in January, but I'm talking about December versus November. You get it. 25 videos I uploaded in December. I didn't think it was that much. I guess I took the weekends off. I guess I was doing about 5 videos a week. Crazy. It's crazy. I think a lot of that is when you have a lot of year-end kind of wrap-up videos and stuff like that. You're going to be able to push out the content a little easier than usual because I've noticed that you guys love you some lists because while I'm going to talk about the top 5 videos I had this month, I can't say I'm upset with the number of views, but I would say as a content creator, not having any of your actual reviews be one of those top 5 videos is always kind of a bummer. So that's something you'd like to kind of work on. But again, people love lists. They're non-committal. They don't have to have read it. They don't have to have any interest in it to kind of say, hey, what are these guys ranking something? So obviously, anytime I talk about the Kindle Oasis, that seems to draw crazy interest. I wanted to get that 6-month video out there to kind of close off my Kindle videos. I know some people have gotten kind of exhausted of those, but you know what? It brings a lot of new people to the channel, and I'm always grateful for that. But that was really because my opinion actually had changed a little bit. If you watch the first Kindle video of the Oasis, where I said, was it worth the upgrade over Paperwhite? I was like, I don't really think so. But when you watch that update 6 months later, yeah, I really did find it worth the upgrade. And I really thought that my opinion had changed enough that I could justify that. And for people that were kind of looking if they wanted to make that decision before Christmas. So until there is the next Kindle that comes out, hopefully the color, then I think that's going to be it for the Kindle stuff on the channel. But 30,000 views, obviously that's something that people have a great interest in. I always say that I'm not a tech channel or anything like that. But I think when you're talking about a device that's made for reading, listening to someone who reads a lot off of it, I would take that person's advice over just a plain tech channel that reviews every single device that comes out there. It's not cocky. It's not conceited. I'm just saying, as a viewer myself, that's what I'd want to hear. I'd want to hear a reader's opinion. It's like saying, I would like to hear about the motor in that car from someone who has driven that car over just your straight average gearhead who's just going to look at it with their eyeballs on the spec. So again, that's just kind of something that I would look for as a viewer. Conjuration with Jim Butcher. Yes, anytime you have an author with the stroke that Jim Butcher, creator of the Dresden Files, he comes on your channel, it's going to get a lot of attention. 17,000 views. Mostly positive feedback. There was some, people who were either mad that I wouldn't go through and spoiler tag the whole video. Look, I made a disclaimer at the very beginning. There's spoilers in this video. Don't watch it if you don't want to be spoiled. And they wanted me just to make sure that I went through this whole hour conversation and make sure I marked this. No, I'm not doing that. If you guys want to watch it, that's awesome. But I wasn't going to do that. But a lot of people were upset that I didn't ask like great big deep dive theory questions, and I'm like, that's a lot of the questions that he's gotten in every interview he's had. So I wanted to open up to you guys, see what you guys wanted me to do. So that's what we did, and it seemed like he had a lot of fun. I know I did. Again, anytime you're able to talk to a major published author like that, it's just one of those things where I'm like, wow, I can't believe how far this channel has come. Where I don't think I could get anybody another content creator to come on the channel, much less a very well-known published author like that. So that was a lot of fun. Top 10 books of 2020 is sitting at 13,000 views right now. Again, I think anytime you do a top 10 list, it's going to get some attention. When it's a year-end video, a lot of people will click on that, especially if they're constant watchers. It's kind of been for you a while because a lot of people like to try to guess, hey, I bet I can figure out these top 10. And I think the closest I saw was my buddy Sheik. I think he got 8 out of 10, but even he got the placement in the one Brandon Sanderson book wrong. So that's always a lot of fun for new viewers, random viewers, and of course your constant watchers. So a lot of fun to talk about what was the best of the year. And again, if you haven't watched that, check it out. If you guys want to know 10 books that I would recommend to you reading right now, because they're all very, very good books. I also know that you guys love you some negativity. Now I like to focus on the positive on this channel. And the whole reason that I made that top 10, or not top 10, it wasn't even top 10, it was just my most disappointing books of 2020, was to prove that you can do a list like that and not be a shit, not be negative, not be malicious about it. But yeah, again, I'm not going to reiterate everything I said in that video, but there was a lot of people that were attacking content creators for making lists like this, and it's like, these are independently run channels. We're not sponsored. Most of us aren't sponsored. I mean, hell, I'm not sponsored, and I like to keep it that way. But we're not professionals. We're not reviewers, anything like that. We're not making these videos for authors. We're making them for other readers. So that was kind of like a protest video and showed that was books that I could be disappointed in, and it was authors that I loved, So, I mean, even your favorite authors. I mean, I had Stephen freaking King on there, and that's my dude, right? So it's going to happen sometimes that you're going to be disappointed in the book. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're calling anyone a hack. So that's really what that one was. But that also was at 13,000 views. November 2020 book haul. Those videos are always on this list. 12,000 views. The thing is that book haul is going to look small compared to December's, which we're going to do here probably next week sometime. And then, yeah, that was pretty much it for the top 5. That was 12,000 views on that one. Some of the ones that didn't make this, that just kind of barely missed it, that I really enjoyed and hope you'll check out, is I did the new series in authors that I'm going to check out in 2021. That created a lot of conversation, a lot of feedback, a lot of some stuff that was really backed up with a lot of facts, and some stuff that really made no sense, like don't read Farseer because it sucks. That's not really going to deter me one way or the other. Yeah, don't read the Poppy War because it's stupid. These are the kind of comments where I'm going to need a little bit more feedback than that before I decide to read a series or not read a series. But again, I appreciate all the feedback on there, and a lot of people are excited. I think there's just as much people excited about me reading Robin Hobb as there are about the Malazan read-along. So that's really encouraging. And I'm starting to wonder now if that was a mistake putting those two series together. But we'll cross that bridge very, very soon. Another one is I'd like you guys to check out the Christopher Rocchio interview if you didn't. And the thing is, like, you don't have to read Sun Eater at all to enjoy that interview. I think I learned a lot myself about the writing process and what it takes to get published in this industry. He's very young, 25 years old. So the fact that he's actually gotten, he's working on his 4th novel right now, I thought it was really good peek behind the curtain about how the industry works, about how editing works. And then we got to talk about stuff like Star Wars and Black Sabbath. What's not to like about that? It's just a really fun conversation that personally I rather enjoyed, and everyone who has watched it seems very, very interested. And I hope you will pick up his books, because I think if you listen to him talk for a little bit, and he gives you a little bit, there's no spoilers in that video. So if you are interested in the series, or again, like I said, you just want to know more about how the industry works, I'd recommend checking it out. As for January's goals, I wouldn't say I have a ton, really. I'd like to make sure that I navigate this Malazan read-along really well. A lot of coordination involved with that, having some early jitters on the Discord just because we got so many people joining. I think we went from about 2,400 users on that Discord to about 4,600 ever since I announced this read-along. So it's getting a lot more traffic, obviously. And while a lot of people are still lurking, there's a lot of rereaders that are involved. And we're having to tell them, I know you guys are excited that other people are joining this read-along, but you guys got to ease back a little bit and let all these noobs breathe a little bit, because it's really tough for them to keep up in these read-along threads when there's 700 new messages every time they click on it, because it's all rereaders just excited to see everybody else reading this series. So I don't want to say I'm trying to reel back conversation or anything, because that's what it's all about. I'm just trying to say, hey, let's let the first timers enjoy this a little bit and theorize and things like that. No confirmations and things like that. So it's obviously going to be a nice little trial run, but there's a lot of coordination. I really think right now it's just a lot of excitement, and people will calm down a little bit. I mean, we're 3 days in right now, and so it's a lot going on, but I'm enjoying reading the book. I'm enjoying the conversation on the server and stuff. So I hope you guys will join us on that read along if you are not, and join us on the Discord if you're not, because it's a lot of fun. As far as like goals for January, I don't really have like, I know last month I did the hey, let's try to get 35,000 for it. I don't have any target like that. Look, I said, God, what was it, 2-3 months ago when I was doing one of these, that I thought the ceiling for the channel was 25,000, so I've already ate a big shit burger on that one. So at this point, it's all gravy to me. It's all just house money at this point. I'd love to see the channel keep growing. I think obviously like the end game goal for me would be to hit 50,000. That's a nice round number that I think would be really awesome. But as far as like I want to hit it by this time, I don't have any goals like that this year, because last year my goal was 7,500 by the end of the year, and we hit almost 36,000. So I'm just kind of along for the ride. I'm glad you guys are having a great time. I just want to continue to make this channel feel like it's something that is welcoming to everyone. That's what I want to do. I see a lot of channels out there that do a lot of the, well, I don't want those kind of people watching my channel. I don't do that, guys. I keep it about the books, and I keep it about conversation, being okay with disagreeing, and I want to make sure that I keep that mission statement going forward. I'm here for the conversation. I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you're doing, what you've done in the past, what you're planning to do. I'm just here to talk about books, and I hope you guys will join me going forward. Had a great 2020, and as far as everything, you know, on this channel, 2020 was a great time. So I'm glad you guys have joined me, and I hope you guys will continue to join me as we continue to go. So how did 2020 go for you guys? What was your favorite book that you read or something like that? Drop in the comments and let me know, and I will talk to you there.